Welcome to the I'm Healing podcast. I'm your host and healer, Iris L. Mendez of ILM Healing Soulutions. Here we review healing solutions for the soul. Episode 4, Permission to Pause. Let's heal. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're listening to this podcast, it's March 2020. And it seems that our new norms have taken into play as COVID-19 coronavirus rapidly takes over the globe. And if you're in the United States and certain parts of the United States, then you may have been forced into quarantine or social distancing. And that is our new norm at this time. And I really hope that you're breathing through this all. Breathing through the adjustments, through the transitions. And if you're on the front lines of this all, and you're working through this all, thank you. If you've been impacted by this in any way, whether you're healing your own body in recovery, or you're mourning or grieving a loss, I send you healing, and I send you peace. For the first time, it seems as though the hustle and bustle of American life has completely come to a halt. We have been forced to refrain from physical contact with loved ones and practice social distancing. And this can be physiologically stressful because at the end of the day, we're a naturally normal, connected species. And being away from our loved ones can be hard to do in times of uncertainty. But I ask you to breathe through this all. I ask you to remain present and really take this permission to pause. It seems as though there could be a silver lining here. And while that doesn't justify any of the losses or any of the detrimental things that we have to go through because of this, let's for 1 second try to look at the silver lining here. We get to be in a space that we don't normally get to spend that much time at, because we're so busy and we take pride on being busy and even praise on being busy. And we don't spend enough time at home. We don't spend enough time with our loved ones. We don't spend enough time with ourselves. We don't spend enough time healing. And so maybe we can take this time, even if it's just for one part of our day, to work a little bit more on getting back to the basics, getting back to the things that make us happy: faith, family, and ourselves. And that could be really hard to do right now, because the future is unknown. And when we have something impactful like a pandemic, and it really sets off anxiety and fear. Now remember, fear and anxiety manifest in the body. So you want to be mindful that you're taking care of that, because it can make you more susceptible to illness. So let's think about this. What are some things that we can really do to help us get through this all? Maybe that's practicing a little bit more kindness, a little bit more love, a little bit more compassion. Maybe that's just breathing. Maybe that's just taking it day by day, or taking a moment to really ask yourself, what is it that you can do to help yourself heal and help you get through this? Obviously, we want to follow the guidelines set forth by the CDC, our state, and our counties. So be in the know for sure, so that you can make informed decisions for yourself and your family. But I also recommend that you limit the amount of in the know that you are in. Please limit the amount of media exposure, and that includes social media. I personally like to take a social media detox approximately 3 times a year, at least 2 to 3 times a year, for about a month at length. And sometimes I take a few days where I just don't go on it, or maybe a few hours in the day, maybe half of a day. Whatever it is that you need, take that right now. Think of this as your permission to pause. Your permission to pause, to breathe, to be mindful, to work on a passion project, to draw, to get back to our kids' selves, maybe go for a walk outside, maybe color, maybe even start a podcast. Pick up a hobby. And this is something that I've recommended to clients in the past and people that I've worked with. Studies show that when you pick up a hobby, it's really helpful for the mind and body. 1, you're moving, and 2, you're working on something that you probably doubted that you could do, or you're working on something that you thought you never could do, or thought that you never would. And so when we take on projects or we take on hobbies and we finally follow through with them and we see the end result, it can really exacerbate chemicals, those happy chemicals in our body that really help us feel good about ourselves, give us self-confidence, and make us happy. So whether that's crocheting or whether that's cooking a new dish, just do it. This is a time to have a dance party with your family if you can, or maybe even a virtual dance party, even if it's on TikTok. This is a time for you to read that book that you said you wanted to read, or the audio book that you wanted to listen to. If you're able to, take a course or listen to a podcast. Whatever makes you feel good, even if that's just watching TV. I often recommend for people who do like to watch TV to watch a feel-good show. Watch something you're familiar with, something that you probably already know the words to, because that elicits familiarity in the brain, comfort, and security. And that can go a long way when we're not feeling that in our real world. So, while yes, you want to limit the amount of consumption of television or media, do what makes you feel good. So if you want to rewatch your favorite episode of The Office, or if you want to watch or rewatch a new movie that makes you feel good, do that. I would say limit screen time if you will, and definitely limit the exposure to the news. Stay in the know, but don't overwhelm yourself, because that can be anxiety provoking as well. Keep some strict guidelines with yourself, whether that's strict meal times, establish a morning routine, and even a nightly routine to help you get through this all. Get outside if you can. Be with the sun if weather permits. above all else, take care of yourselves. Practice good hygiene, especially hand hygiene. And if possible, for those of you who are working at home, create a separate workstation for yourself. You don't want to work in the same place that you lounge and binge watch TV. But if you have to, then put all of your work-related items away post your shift. It's going to be super helpful for balancing work and home life, especially when they're literally on top of each other. Take some time after work to create an after-work routine, whether that's going for a walk, or maybe that's starting dinner, or maybe that's literally going to the bathroom to just wash your hands. And again, while we do need to be practicing hand hygiene, that's not the purpose of practicing that. When I was exposed to a lot of different social work field jobs, oftentimes I feared taking some of that work home. And so I learned very early on to do an after work ritual. And sometimes I was reading, sometimes I was listening to a after work song, and sometimes that was literally going to the bathroom to wash my hands of the day. It was sort of my way of saying, let me leave all this here because I'm not taking it at home, and I'm washing my day away. But at the same time, sending healing to those who I have worked with, or to those who I feel need it, but leaving it there. Just wash your hands clean of the day. Now is the time to maybe reorganize and spring clean. Reorganize that closet that you said that you wanted to reorganize, or wash your car if you're able to get outside. For the first time, it seems as though we've been permitted to pause. So let's embrace that. Let's take it, but let's take care of ourselves. And more importantly, let's take care of each other. I send you all healing vibes, and reach out to me. Let me know if you would like some more tips on how to manage these times of uncertainty. I can be reached at ilmhealingsolutions@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in. Happy healing. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Instagram, ILM_healing. Visit my website at www.ilmhealingsolutions.com.